Welcome to today's episode of Powerful Parenting. This is actually our very first parent interview with Philip Montague. I want to introduce you to him. He was introduced to me from a friend, and Philip says that it was his father's decision to love and not terminate his baby when he was told that little Mia was XXX chromosome, or as we know, I've heard it before, an extra chromosome where she would have been Down syndrome, but he just didn't believe that. He wanted to save his baby, and he kept God's greatest gift in his life. So I'm going to have Philip share his story with you, and I really know this will encourage and inspire you. So come on, Philip. Meet our audience.
Hello, Marianne. How you doing today?
Hi, it's so good to have you here today.
I am very glad to share this story with you too. I enjoy telling just the great things that God has blessed me to do. That a decision that a lot of parents face of keeping their baby when they hear a certain diagnosis. But I tell you this, I've been truly blessed to make the right decision.
So tell me about the doctor's visit. You had an ultrasound or the sonogram?
What happened was because
your wife.
Yeah, my wife, not me, that's cool. But it was my wife. We're at the age of 35 when she was pregnant with my last daughter. And because my son was, diagnosed with autism, that we're at high risk because of our age, because of her age. So we had to do different tests. So what they did an amniotic test of, while Mia was in her womb. So they drained the fluid and they took the fluid and then did a test on it. Then they let us know, they gave us the results and told us that she was a XXX syndrome. And they didn't really go into details about that she was going to be Down syndrome. They gave us the fact that she's going to have a unibrow, big head, and uncoordinated and not able to comprehend in math and all kind of stuff. Any parent that would have heard that would have just said, okay, terminate the pregnancy. I don't want to deal with it. But
I don't want to deal with the unibrow, right?
Yeah, especially the unibrow. I could just picture that,
I don't know.
Shrek or something. So I just visualized it. But I said, I told my wife, when my wife told me what the doctor told her or the nurse, my wife was crying. We both were crying. We said, honey, we're going to love this child no matter what. God has blessed us, to be her parents. And to making that decision, it was hard because we're stressed about it. But for us being a couple of faith and trusted in God, prayed, but it was still that struggle until one day, I just turned around and spoke to my wife. I said, the doctors are going to be in awe when she is born. And I have to tell her again, even though she was still stressed, but I let her know the doctors are going to be in awe when she is born. So speaking into my daughter while she was in the womb, then it was at a point where she would not line up, her head was not in the right position. So she would have been a breech. But by having faith, spoke to her womb, she straightened up. But I tell you this, when she was born, it was like a miracle. She was so beautiful, all this hair, and the doctor was in awe. Like I said, he was in awe. They were supposed to have equipment for children that are Down syndrome. They were supposed to have everything on set. We said, where's the equipment? But she came out totally different than what the report said that she was going to be. And I was so grateful that I kept her, that I did not make a decision because she is a life that I did not want to terminate. That's to me, that'd be like killing God's purpose in the child. So.
I've spoken to adults that were told the same thing, and their babies, when the babies were aborted, the babies were fine. There was nothing wrong with them.
Wow.
And there's so much regret for so many parents. And I admire you for your decision. And it sounds like you had, I don't know whether your faith was already strong, or did you think it was a burst of, or an empowerment, or a gift of faith that made you make that decision? Or is that just the way you live your life, where you weren't going to accept anything less than God's gift to us is God's gift to us?
For me, we've been through a lot of stuff, a lot of things over the years, different struggles. That's a whole another set of a testimony right there in itself. And my faith was built up through the struggles,
Mhm.
my confidence and a prayer life to be able to speak. You could try to just say something, but when you speak with authority
That's right.
and with faith and believing, not just saying the words, but you saying it because you've been given the authority to speak the name of Jesus, to
Mhm.
say, hey, nothing, no weapon formed against us, no weapon formed against the child. This is a blessing from God. So it was my faith, it definitely increased because I love telling the story of my daughter. And I look at my daughter today, and this morning I just hugged her because I said, you are a miracle baby.
Now, for the audience, Mia is now 15 years old.
She's 15 years old and she is phenomenal. She is so smart. She has such a determination to do stuff that is incredible. She takes it to another level. My other two children are great artists. They know how to draw. But when she decided to draw, she did a little bit, the art was messed up. Then also she just surpassed her brother and sister and
Very
just
nice.
real good at it. She taught herself Japanese so she could speak and write in Japanese. Guess
Wow.
what? She's also a 7-time honor roll student,
What a blessing.
running
Yeah.
in track and cross country.
Wow.
Cross crunch country. Okay.
Oh,
Oh my
you're so proud of
goodness.
her too. Oh,
And she's tall. What's amazing, because she looked just like her grandmother. She looked just like my mother. I mean, the same mannerism. Just it's like a spitting image of her grandmother. And her grandmother's a praying woman.
well, and
So
that's amazing. And just to have that heritage passed down and see the genetics passed down. In future episodes, I'll share more about the genocide of African American babies and
yeah,
how I've heard speakers, Black ministers speak about how they want to have a genocide on the Black babies, and it breaks our hearts. And I wish more African American or Black people would recognize that. And I'm just so proud of you for standing up and sticking up for your little Mia. Now I know she's going to be ready to drive a car pretty soon, right? Getting her learner's
yeah,
permit.
yeah. I know she'll pick that up quick. So
Yeah, we saw both our kids through the high school stages, and that was just foremost on their mind. Whether, some families decide not to do that, but
yeah.
ours certainly did. Well, that's wonderful. And I'm so glad you find her so talented. And do you want to talk a little bit about Michael and your other daughter?
Oh, definitely. My son, what I love about all three of my kids, they have this perseverance and persistent to not give up.
Uh-huh.
And it is something else, especially my son. He's high functioning autism, but when he was little, I couldn't understand a word he was saying. When he was real small, he was just right in the air and you couldn't understand. He'll give you a blank look. Now, what has helped a lot over the years, because I was in Toastmasters doing speeches, he would sit there and watch, and I would tell stories about him until he started writing out speeches himself.
Mm.
He the key thing also was the fact that I told him, I believe in you. He knows that I believe in him and he believes in himself.
That's wonderful. Important.
the fact that he believed in himself that he could do it. I was in denial the fact that he was autistic because I treated him, I didn't baby him.
Yeah.
I treated him like, you a young man, you got to be tough. You're going to be a man. You're not going to sit there and have fits in the house. And I'm stopping you now. But I will treat him with love and instruction. But what is important with a family that if it's a husband and wife, they married together and they have a child that is disabled or is autistic, they got to be in unity to raise that child. That's what's important, because the child sees the unity of the parents working together, balancing out, the mother is nurturing, the father is strengthening. And he sees, the child will see a communication that is not somebody trying to baby him. My wife, tries to baby him, but I was like, come on, we got to toughen him up now. So he knows how to cook, and he's also a 2-time honor roll student too.
Oh, good for him. And good for you. That's powerful parenting.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. Couples working together.
Yeah.
No matter, all the children are different, and you work with their strengths and you work with their challenges.
Yep. And the last one is, my oldest one is my daughter, Monique. Basically, she's my heart. She's the sweetheart. She's my, of course, she's daddy's girl. She don't let failure stop her.
Now, how old is Monique?
22.
And Michael is 19, going to be
19.
20. Okay.
He's going to be 20 next month. And Mia is 15. She'll be 16 this year in June.
So tell us about Monique.
Okay, Monique is unique. I call her unique Monique because she's a type of person. She was failing when she's kind of like failing in school. She turned around and just fixed her grades. She found out what her problem was and was able to just move forward. She went to school for nursing. She graduated from college, and she's moving into the nursing program. Very talented. She's able to sing, draw, very helpful. One of the sweetest girls. I've been blessed with all 3 wonderful kids. They don't give me any problems. Knock on wood. But
and so you have you must be so proud of all of them.
I'm proud. I love all 3 of them because it makes me, I always tell my kids, I'm blessed to be your father. I'm blessed to be your father. I could not have, no other type of kids or any other kids but these 3, because they work well together and they have each other's back. They always make sure that I'm okay. Oh, Dad, you okay? They want to make sure they're very helpful. And just like my son, he's autistic, listens. He's able to, they said that he would not be able to socialize, comprehend, but my son socializes.
That's right. Wow.
And he's independent. He's becoming a financial wizard now. He manages his money quite well.
Oh, that's so nice.
So I'm glad he's preparing himself for the future. But my son may have some quirks, but I tell you this, I love him, and I spent the time teaching him technology. So he's going to be in IT like me, and just training him the ropes, giving him the ropes while he's in school. And he said, Dad, I don't want to be a janitor. Nothing wrong with anybody working as custodian, but he did not want to work as, a janitor. That's the job they wanted to give him because of the autism. So I told him, work with me in business.
Oh, good for you.
So that's a great thing. Thank you so much.
And I hear parents share that their kids that whether they do have Down syndrome or whether they have autism, that they have grown so much as an adult working with these children. Yeah. And God has given you love in your heart. So you see them as God sees them, which is wonderful. I'm so glad you spoke to them in the womb, and you just affirmed them now as they're growing, how much you love them and how much God loves them.
They have helped me to grow. Like I said, they have helped me to grow a lot, especially I love doing my speeches about them.
That's nice. So we have about 2 more minutes. Would you share with the audience one give them your last encouragement of how they need to take on their powerful parenting and save a life that is maybe perhaps with an unplanned pregnancy.
Okay. The best thing to do is really love your child. Love your child. Don't give up on that child, because even some that had an unplanned pregnancy, your child is not a mistake. They're meant to be here. Don't kill them. Don't give up on them.
Yeah.
Something could have happened that you're pregnant with the child, but love that child. Don't think about if you're a married couple. Oh my goodness, we weren't expecting this baby. I tell you this, God will provide a way for you to take care of that child if you're willing to do it. He will provide a way. He will provide a way. We didn't think we could do it for our last one, but God blessed. And he's continued to blessing, and our children is seeing our faith. And you have to have the faith to believe, give your best to your child, give of yourself to each other, and build that child and give it a spirit of unity in the home.
That's wonderful. You know, parenting is really a blessing. And for the unplanned pregnancies of the single mom, there's always adoption.
Yeah.
If the baby's too young. The statistics show that 65% of the parents are the ones urging the girls to get abortions.
That's sad.
Yeah, parents really need to get a revelation that there's people out there who will adopt the little baby if you don't want to embrace the baby. But let's don't terminate the life because it's inconvenient. Okay.
Oh, it's terrible, because you feel regrets the fact that you killed a life.
There are lots of regrets.
Yeah.
Even 15, they say 15 years, but I even know adults 40 years later who have regrets.
Yeah.
From what they've done. Well, I want to thank you for tuning in, and thank you, Philip, for being our special guest today. I'm Dr. Marianne Cintron. I'm an educator doctor. You can see in the background here, but I want to share with you some books I've authored. This is Powerful Parenting, and this is available on Amazon if you search Dr. Marianne or just Marianne Cintron. And also, I'm going to be a big brother, which talks about relieving the anxiety of a young boy who's going to have a new sibling in the family. And this is the first of a series of 12. Wow. So I talk about the growth of the baby in the womb in this book. And if you'd like to go to our YouTube and subscribe and like us, and if you want to email me, I will send you a free PDF of the book, I'm going to be a big brother. And you'd have to email me at mpcintron@gmail.com. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. And again, Philip, thank you so much for being our special guest.
Okay.
And I look forward to seeing you again. I know I met you a couple years ago in person.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye now.